Hello, 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 everyone. This is Mohammed Shilon on VOS. I come from Una from the United States. We chief host is not going to be on board, Ms. Fadima Savage. So it's going to be me and Professor Kutubu. Now we two go be the host for today. But I hope say Una go enjoy the show just as much as, if not more, than when Madam Fadima is with us. So in other words, we'll not go let Una down. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever part of the world you may be. As Una know, this is now an interactive broadcast. It's done live. So as with the talk show, and with the talk in Creole, as with the talk show, we can do them in a way if you get questions, you can type in, you can call in, you get many ways, you can WhatsApp. Some of the numbers then for call, if you do call, we have a toll-free number, when at 866-944-7722. Again, 866-944-7722. If you do call from the United Kingdom, now 44 203 239 9581. 44 203 239 9581. For Australia, 61 280 064 352. 61 280 064 352. And on the WhatsApp line, now 343 997 5828. 343 997 5828. So please, if you want to participate, if you get any input, or want to contribute to the discussion today and the broadcast, these are the numbers. In case you don't remember the number, anyway, we hope you will remember that. From time to time, we will flash on the screen when I will watch them on the telephone or computer for see the numbers them again. So that said, the topics then today, our main topic will be the Freetown City Council and then conflict with the central government. But besides that, there are other issues then we will discuss as the time rolls around. We'll get quite a few topics in line, but the main topic will be the Freetown City Council issue. So me and Professor Kutubu, we will try for give as much information and take as many questions as we possibly can. Now, I also would like to let Professor Kutubu introduce himself, as is normally the practice. When we open up, we make each host say a few things. So, Professor Kutubu, you have a few words you want to say, sir?
Well, thank you very much for being we lead host today. This is to show how quickly don't come on board this year. So we now, you do just the everything the lead host they do, and we'll continue to give you the support you need for make sure say we can you fly the banner of we station at the peak of Mount Everest, and we look for receive we guess them, and like you correctly say, this is a participatory having column program where they say go calling, they go give their own take, we will all go agree for disagree, but like we already say, no matter how funny the thing is, please let me go in such a way that tell you they are at war, they are daggers drawn, disagree but not become disagreeable with me personally, disagree with me position, lay out your position, reasonable people then go look at, okay, This is what Tubu said, that this Mr. Shilon said, that other man say, I think so that other man, he get more, how they call it, substance by what he said. We all there for land. So with that, Mr. Shilon, thank you very much again today for providing what you call the stopgap measure. And we wish Madam Fadima, wherever they a safe journey coming back. And the hope is it will follow what's in the goal. So back to you, sir.
All right. That said, also, in addition to what Professor Kutubu just said, yeah, we know, say, this show, we all get one interest at heart. Now, for say, and waiting, we think for help SALONE the best way possible in we own way. So, for do that, for take personal attack. Now, for disagree, respect the other person's own view, and state your own view, so other listeners them, including the host, then go hear it and go understand. Then maybe you will be able for enlighten we all at the end of the day, for educate we all. But when you call, you begin to personal attacks, help anybody, even help yourself, because you own, if you call, you cause somebody, well, nobody not get anything for land out of cursing. You not educate anybody. So we encourage people them, you view no matter which you think, call and tell we, and let other people in here, and then we go address them, our other callers and go address them. So let me move to the next to the first topic. As usual, we're always given a corona update. The corona update, as we know, the latest what we hear was that there is a third wave, maybe even a fourth wave, of the corona, we bad past the other, beginning one day which start last year. We understand say this wave we can now, what they call the Delta variant, it kill people in a short time. You get them in 2-3 days. If you not get immediate attention, the likelihood you go die. Also, what you would hear, not to say with the campaign, not to say with the suggest, but then say where you not take the vaccine or you not get the vaccination, what in they happen is that if you catch the corona, you get a high chance for die. Whereas if you don't get at least one, but then they recommend 2 of the vaccination, if you don't get them, then they say that not gonna make you catch corona, but corona not gonna knock you down. There is a slim chance that you could die if you get corona. And the reason why make you might get them, because the one that way not get the vaccines or they not take the vaccination age, then can get them and pass them to you. The only thing will help you, because you will not get the what you will call the injection, but the vaccination, it will give you body what it takes for fight or for fight the disease. So in that sense, we encourage people for take them, try, if you get the opportunity, get the vaccination, because it puts you in a like yellow fever, the medicine and day where you get for take. For like we work in common hour to go home, then they make we take the medicine about 5 days before we left here for begin taking, and then we're there and we go for take them all the time. Like so they one, depending on the type, once a week, sometimes every day, for keep your immune system resistant to the yellow fever or to fever. So malaria. So, and that malaria pill they would take them before we left here. But if you don't take them, you go, then you run into the problem itself. It can make people very sick. Some people are very sick when they come back now, almost to the point of wanting to die. So that the same thing where you not take the corona vaccine, you not take the vaccination, you have to expose yourself they weaken you body. You might be lucky, you not go get them at all. But if you get them, your body not get what it takes. Slim chance. So I make we encourage people. But then say so far in Australia, for the last 1 week, we not get any death or any die from corona. And now only one case, then report saying a new case. Well, then they up to now foresee if America and the Western nations, all the big nations, they will get all the technique, all the machine that we take for detect and fight this disease, then they get thousands. But we will not get nothing. We say we will not get any such case. Now, one person no more get corona in the past 1 week. Now, the whole country. And they up to now for believe that or not for believe that. But are we the urge based upon what you will know? Please take the vaccine or the vaccination actually, take them. In fact, even the word vaccination might throw some people off. Take the injection within give you your hand. Take that injection there. Because that injection they help for build your immune system, will make you chance, even if you contact the virus, they almost rule out say you go die. You not go die. You might feel a little sick. Sometimes you get yourself the injection so good that you might get the virus. You don't even know say you get them. So we strongly encourage you now for participate and for do all the other things that wouldn't suggest. If you get mask, put mask on where you go to market. Put mask on where you go in a public place. Where you then transport. All that and they all good. So that's the news for the corona as far as we know. Professor Kutubu, do you have anything else you want to add to that?
I know everything is just, and then ask people that for do let them exercise, precaution, and let the government also make sure say they provide some of the things, the basic things for help the people. That's what I get for say, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. Now, let we go to the main topic for the day. The main topic now that of the Freetown City Council, where involve the mayor and the councillors them, are we making a request to the international community where they contribute money for help run the city. They can give we small money where for help we, because we tax base not so solid for raise all the money where we need for run with city efficiently as a modern city. So there are international organizations that we can give we the city money for help, where they bankroll the city for help for run the city. Sometimes they say that money they can be as much as $300 million just for help for run Freetown, for make Freetown be a modern city, for make Freetown able for do which in other modern cities them in Africa around the world able for do. Lately, the city council that were involved, the councillors and the mayor, they get for big their organizations there where they send them money and say, we want to interfere with the plaba where they go on between we and the government, the Australian government. Because we don't try everything we able, the SALONE government just pin pauper for say they're not going to do what it take for make we, the city council and the mayor, run the city as we for run them. So we think say enough for reach that stage there. And we think say if you reach that stage there, something is wrong. And when you reach that stage there, we forget laws, rules, practices in place for be able for solve that problem there. And so it's kind of hard where the council and the government of all people, of all entities, now the government and the city council, which itself is a government, because we need to understand, back when we say government, we doesn't think about the central government. We include the president and parliament and judiciary. But there is also what you call local government. That's a city council, district council. Then you get a third level of government where you chiefdom government them, where councils or administrations them run by chiefdoms headed by the chief of each chiefdom. So now we get a dispute between the big government, one of the president's union government, with the city council of Freetown, when are the city council and the mayor them. So would they try for educate or would they try for inform the public? Let we understand this. First of all, as far as we know, and please call us, we encourage you now. But make una send una your opinion. Let we see something there are a lot of things we don't know about. Freetown City itself, now the capital of the entire Sierra Leone. Freetown, now the showcase. When you first come to Sierra Leone, whether now overseas you come out or whether you know to Sierra Leone, or the first place where you land, now Freetown, where you come on at the airport. A lot of country, in fact, every country, now they put the best show. You know, the best streets, then nice houses and offices. Now there you get the best traffic pattern. And there you get the best hotels. And there you get the best of everything. Because you want to impress your citizens them where they go for a while, as well as strangers and the way they come, for make them feel at home and let them feel glad for say they kind of the right place. So from that picture there, you would think the president and the minister of local government would then say get power over the city council where I go get to, that aspect there. And parliament go be interested in resolving any kind of confusion between the central government and the city council. Because at the end of the day, the city council, now like you know, now you face the central government, then you now the face, the president in government, now the face that one day. You don't go say because you vex because you nose the pool blood, or you know like some bump within your nose, you vex, you cut the nose. Then you know they don't get rid of your nose, you don't make yourself look more, you don't affect, you don't ambog yourself. So I don't know how the central government see themselves as not being part of the city council, where they not get that level of responsibility or concern for solve whatever problem, and we'll get a precedent where we think say long time ago for us step in and try to resolve this. But it has to go on and on and on. And here is waiting with the land. Some of the things with the land is when this confusion to go on, low-level employees, such as sanitation workers, them people who pick dirty, people who go for do other things, them they not they get paid. The economy in Australia is bad enough. People and they make small money. So if you a sanitation worker, or if your papa or your brother or your uncle or your auntie na sanitation worker, because we don't see them women there who they sweep the street, we don't see them people who they pick dirty, na Freetown day. If you na one of them or na one of them fumble, and you na them picking, month done they not pay them because the city council and the local government and the central government no get and then get plaba. Now una the casualty or now una get for suffer, it's just not right. And that not to responsible behavior that one day. Now I could see where the government go say not to we, because we'd also hear for say one Mr. Calais, Festus Calais, when the chief administrator, now in they refuse for signed checks for meet some of the expenditure them of the city council. That makes you wonder. Maybe Mr. Kale will give you an open invitation. We may have some certain things wrong, but would it come from USA, the information we would receive? Some of them are from the media, the Daily Telegraph, or the Freetown Telegraph newspaper, and some related newspapers them. But then you say, Mr. Kale, you know the right to check because you need some explanation from the mayor and the council where you not get, where you not receive yet. But whose kind of system then they will get set up in such a way that one man go decide for withhold paychecks from people and whether work and earn the money? That's one. Two, what sort of system is that we will not get checks and balances where one man go get the sole authority for those decide say, ain't not go issue your paycheck? Whose kind of system will get where just one man go refuse for comply or take instructions from his superiors, them, the mayor, the council? So such a system not for exist. There should be checks and balances. There should be way for resolve disputes. So we get a situation here where things are just getting worse and worse. And what is so amazing, we now understand how Mr. Kale, how the Minister of Local Government, how the President, they not see how that go hurt the country, how that they hurt the people, how that they contributes to the image of the country. Because I don't know how they're able to separate themselves as government officials from their responsibility as supporting the mayor and the council for letting them do the work. I don't know how that is happening. There are also other concerns that I need to address. The lily what I read by Mr. Kale, and he's, I stand corrected. That's why we make an open invitation. He's always welcome to this show for correct the record if we are mistaken. The little what I read by Mr. Kale, I understand he's a civil servant, not necessarily a hiree of the city council. That he came there as the chief officer at the as a result of a transfer from the central government to the city council. Well, what sort of system is that? Because every country we know, central government and local government are separate and distinct. There are two governments running in two different lines. They can consult each other, they can supplement each other. The central government, they give money sometimes from taxes to the local government. But I don't know of instances in which central government, they implant or transplant the employee for go around the city council. Because it was not too long ago with the area when the city council, this new structure was built, which is one of the nicest looking town council or city council you can find at the world. I mean, that is by all international standard, a very impressive city council, one of the kind of leadership that we want. Somebody will go put you on the map because of substance, not for unpopular thing. We say even the government, the central government was demanding forget certain floors for occupy certain floors in the building. So it makes you wonder. That never happens anywhere. Why would the central government want for share the same building with the local government, with the city council? That is not the proper way for run things. But we also do see where we understand, say, the international organization here, then they give as much as $300 million, roughly, to the city, for help the city, for meet the expenses. First and foremost, let me explain this. International organization, maybe these are some of the problems. They're not going to forgive you nothing. I wish they can stop forgiving anything. Because while that does, it is spoil we will not use God-given talent and ability for generate income in the proper way. We just believe in receiving and distributing selfishly to ourselves. We not appropriate the money to the right areas that the monies are given. And sometimes some of we wonder, why do they keep giving us? We are not going to starve. We'll go find way for run with city. But the people are kind, so I'm not wanting to sound ungrateful. The other thing that the central government normally that they can contribute to the city council from the general taxes or taxation for help the city council and the district councils them also for run things. Then the city council also forget the ability for implement their own taxes, like property tax, like road tax, like business market tax, where you get small, what we will call small business tax now, or we can call them privilege tax. The city council then get the power for do all and in addition to what the central government give them. So we're lucky, we even get international organization to give we 300 million, which is a lot of money. So some of us are beginning to think, this is a lot of money coming in. It appears as if this money is the central source of the problem, because there are lots and lots of people in central government who may want to lay their hands on that money for selfish reasons. As far as we know, the mayor and in council, then they use all the money for the good of the city. None of that money there is being diverted for corrupt purpose. But we do know, say, the only reason why, the only logical reason, that's why we invite the Mr. Calais for can't tell us not to the reason and the only sensible, logical reason that this confusion, which I will term as an obstructionist kind of confusion, continues, is because that $300 million day, I think some of we government people, as in to do with the larger government, will like to lay their hands on it. So what the mayor is able to do right now, and not go get that money there for do, because people then go use them for go build house, for buy car, for sending people overseas, for come vacation themselves, and this kind of thing. Because this is what we do to each other. We don't care about individuals, we don't care about suffering, we don't care about uplifting the standard of living of the people. We don't care about a lot of things what would the claim say we care about. So it looks to me that the 300 million is the foundation of all this confusion. So one suggestion we can get, now for tell the international organization, if we get, don't give anything, and let us see if they go steal the fed the mayor. Let us run the city based upon what we collect. Now, there was a time not too long ago when even when the mayor raised taxes, the minister of local government jumped on her and said she did not have the authority to do that without in consent or the ministry's consent. But look into that. That is a senseless, ridiculous policy. The mayor and the city councillors are elected officials representing the entire city. The only permission they need now from them voters. If they don't run the city fine, they're not going to vote them again. The mayor, their responsibility now for hire competent staff from town managers to everybody else it takes for run the country and manage whatever tax in the raise. The mayor was not able to do that the last time because the minister can't exact some kind of power and override the mayor and the city. That is an extraordinary exercise of governmental power. That is clearly an overreach. That is why I, for one, I've always taken the position that the Local Government Act that empowered the minister and the ministry for make such extensive demand on the mayor is an overreach. I believe by SALONE constitution is unconstitutional. I think Parliament exceed their power for grant that much power to a ministry. But how do you resolve that? You resolve it only if you have three arms of government that are functioning well: Parliament, the executive, and the judiciary. There has to be a mechanism or a way where the mayor, instead of calling on the international community, should be able to go to court to restrain, first of all, to force Mr. Calais to comply, because that's an act of insubordination. No employee should have the power to just disobey in superior like that without consequences. And here we see Mr. Calais get the power and say, well, I need to write check, I need to do this, I need to do that. For the good of the country, for the good of the city, he shouldn't have that power at all. It has nothing to do with me like or dislike for Mr. Calais. We talk about just good government, you know, running good government. He shouldn't have that power. And we should have a system by now, whereas the mayor and the city council should have a legal department for make a quick assessment as to which direction for take the matter to court. And the court is always the final arbiter, meaning that they roll down one day. So when Parliament passed that law, the Local Government Act, which I think is one, from a personal point of view, is an unnecessary ministry. The Local Government Act and the ministry and the office of the Minister of Local Government is a redundant office. We don't need them. It serves no useful purpose. It's what I call an obstructionist ministry and office. You know? Now again, I'm open to challenge. I'm open to disagreement. The minister in permanent secretary is welcome. I will show for say, Mr. Shillon, here are all the pluses. Will not be exist before the local government. There are all the contributions, the good contributions with the local government. We like to know that because we need to educate the public. So, Mr. Minister, Mr. Permanent Secretary, when I welcome to this show for address this issue. What good is the Ministry of Local Government? What has it added to the conditions that existed before this Ministry of Act was passed? We need to know what positive, what mitigating factors where we want to know where it will add, what good of society, other than maybe politically motivated establishment of a ministry, you know, just for get tactical advantage for a group of people. So the Local Government Act itself, I maintain, is an unconstitutional law. It's the minister gets an overreach, it reach way beyond in power, and Mr. Calais should be given the option of either complying or be fired. You know, and not forget our authority there for disobey the mayor. And how did he become chief administrator? If it is true that he came there as a transferee, that should not happen. In the operation of good governance, city council and central government are two separate and distinct systems of government that one not for the transplant employees them from one to the other. So these are some of the things that I need for address. That the real root of the problem, that the $300 million will come in, where some for ulterior motive really not get access to, as we understand, say the mayor not to give them access. They couldn't wait to lay their hands on that money there because we end up having a few more millionaires in the country, you know. So that is really boiling people in blood. And so then they don't take the position that if we can't run the show, let SALONE suffer. And the reason that will make Freetown so important, unlike any other part of the country, Freetown our capital. Nothing goes wrong with Freetown that does not affect the well-being of the country, because now they our chief administrative center, in addition to being the capital, now they will get with Parliament, now they will get with Supreme Court, now they will get all the major things then where it takes for operating government. So we should give particular attention to Freetown when things not right. And if the president in staff then listen, the only question we get, how can the president know and see this happening and be quiet about that? Is he part of the government? Because as the chief administrator of the country, every council comes under him at the end. So you can't say me 2 toes then they make plaba, so I could just leave the lane in fact. Well then 2 toes and then a part of your entire body politic. So now part of your body. So the city council, the minister, and this Mr. Calais, as far as, in fact, me not to blame the minister. The minister, they exercise the power where the office give. The office itself is the problem. The office of the Ministry of Local Government, the office of the Minister of Local Government, these are offices, the power of which the city council should be able to go to court, a well-constituted court, not a court that with some political motive. If we want to really help the country from that perspective, if we start giving some sound legal decision, she should be able to go to court, or the city should be able to go to court to get a very well-defined limitation of the law. Let we know how far the minister can reach, how far the minister cannot. And this is not the point of the Supreme Court, now the functionality way we system right now not to do anything about, partly because of the kind of constitution what we get, and partly because of the kind of administrative system where we inherit, where we not look for, try for change with we own common sense, even when not work. Having done all this talking, let me pass on a small to Professor Kutubo and see what your contribution get for B.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shillong. Me one contribute to this sensitive discussion by way of history. In the 16th century, when people then not become too powerful that the European leaders, you get people like that man what they call Montesquieu and Charles II, like great French jurist, in with another man England, where they call John Locke. They two come together and come up with a very beautiful test where we separate government. They form 3 branches. You get one where they job now for make laws. You get the other one where your job now for carry out the day-to-day laws. They get the other one then where they job now for interpret the law side you go law. And they bring all this because when you talk, I see you inject some legalese inside. So obviously that the foundation that now one bill went into this argument here. So get that. Now when we come up with that SALONE, the city council we maybe see as where it relates to where we detail even when the Queen will come. And I recall people like the mayor when they did Abu Fataraman. We get one office when they call town clerk. We take come over the British people and they call it the town clerk. The town clerk means then the chief administrator for the day-to-day running. But within the Department of Town Clerk office, so you also get the finance office. If I also recall one man way then they call Robert Edwin Bob Jones. I've been in charge of the city council finance and all that thing. The city council was actually running very, very effectively. And obviously we were going to Freetown for long time. We see the municipal schools, we see the cleanliness of Freetown, we see all of them especially if you were in Freetown for meet-up independence, and with the Queen come, we see that kind of a Freetown, we dey get less and less of the entire. So it's kind of a rancor and recriminations. We don't become part of this. The city council, or no, not even call us, they don't call it the local government. Remember, when I start new discussion, I go back into history. The local government, obviously, their own job in the context of Freetown City Council, they're responsible for Freetown, the municipality of Freetown, and their own job that, and the chief administrator for that place, that the mayor, when they get elected by the cities, by the citizens of Freetown, he actually owe a responsibilities. He had a call not to the central government, not to the citizens of Freetown. Now they derive the authority from. So now they first they begin to look. Now the fundamental question there: how on that, waiting the central government, how they find themselves, get into the affairs of its local government in the context of the city council, say not to the place of the central government for run primary schools and that the municipal schools will begin. No, those are not not to the central government for begin pick trash. For the other dynamics, some of we never supported waiting Mr. Julius Mada Biobi Kego every Saturday people they for working. No, that regimentation nanny, you cannot. The Department of City Council forget the department of what they call Department of Works, Public Works, where they hire people then and we get infrastructure for do that. Waiting not happen again, Mr. Shilon and we listeners all of them problem what this is so the antecedents to them problem they are what this is so are they lay up again to this again every day and they argue this when at the end problem they say the antecedent go back to that constitution we'll get where put the power per one office when at the office of president. That make I tell you people like Montesquieu them then we divide the offices them they divide the job of governance. You get them the executive people them when at the president and in government and in cabinet they get the one where they make the laws and the parliament and all that thing. They get the one where they sit on and we quote for interpret. Because the constitution of SALONE for which it don't put such extraordinary and plenipotentiary powers in the presidency, all the other arms of how they call them government don't go bad. Because I hate this story talk say they forget the city council forget it all. Yes, they said that they will come up again. We began to call a city solicitor. We began and they are aware of the inner workings of Freetown City Council. I saw it. We began city solicitor, where the lawyer for the city council. So things where where for do with the sovereignty of the city council in the context of law now in the address those issues there. But again, we now they operate a system. One man not become the alpha and omega. It don't become the Iyakena Budu Iyakena style. Neither the be all and end all. Everything the president, everything the president, and this problem will get so. This escalating nightmare who don't get so in governance with the antecedent with the trace them back to 1971. Once we move from the EU parliamentary system of governance, when Mr. Stevens they come with this Republican form of government, we will not even know how for runner. They want to be one man grab too much power, all of it. I can assure you, as long as we continue to forget this kind of a structure will get in place. Even because one way or the other, either by fate or by design, this government get for go. One way or the other, they get for go. No matter how long. When the next generation of leaders can come, as long as that the same how they call them, we will not say, what we need for decentralized how they call them. There is too much power in one office, not that the office of president. We are going to go to the extent that the president will get no limit. The executive branch of government interfere in virtually everything. They interfere in everything else again, no more everything. So the other bodies they become very obsolete. They become useless. And with all this inordinate interference, this extraordinary and plenipotentiary powers, we know they see progress in the place. progress is stalled. With all the power, because 1 minute when we don't get all the power, you go use the power, to the advantage of the citizens there. But no, that's not the see. So then you ask the fundamental question: waiting now all the power. The president is it? The president, supreme commander in chief of this, the president and that, the president and this, the president. How can a nation be governed on the whims, views, and caprices of one office? That is the fundamental question that we're very perplexing and we're very disturbing. Until the citizens then again they come in, so hey, wait a minute, we need to get some kind of a system of governance there where things will be even, where people are going to be held accountable because of the extraordinary and plenipotentiary powers in the presidency. This is not just a matter of Mr. Bio. Mr. Bio just continue waiting in submit. Because like I said, the antecedents to this, when they go back to 1971, where we adopt a new form of government. If we like, we can roll back and go say, well, before 1971, when we get a parliamentary democracy, any leader be powerful like this? No. I can give you a lot of examples there. Since that the cabinet government will get a parliamentary democracy, the head of government was being challenged in parliament. I can give 2 examples there. When Albert Magai wanted for bringing the one-party system, it don't go through because the court people were prepared for take their matters in the court because they get court cases and that, and they go to court and then they get a verdict there, and that went for the Republican, the Republican status where the Albert Magai government you have many people they say no because this time power be the flow everywhere, but now like just infusion, just one man. So the answer to this problem here in the context of how the city council will work, how the local government will work, we really can forget a system of balance where the other branches of government will function. The role of a city council or a local government, that they provide essential services for clean the town. That the city council job that they raise a tax, take care of the schools and the municipal schools there, do this, do that, make sure say we streets and clean, we get water the way they run. Now, city councils and they do that now. For example, go to the code of BSSC now the Washington, Maryland, Virginia, Tego, where they supply water, not to the federal government, they supply water, not to the other responsibility that. So we don't diagnose the problem. They made the causative agents, we don't see them say that the extraordinary plenipotentiary powers where one branch of government again. So then now we move to the prophylactic measures then. How we will arrest this kind of a rot or decadence and escapism? We don't actually sit down at the venue of governance. The only way they do this again, Mr. Shidon and Minister, we can forget a system of checks and balances where people are going to be held accountable. Once they hold nobody accountable, meaning that hold the leaders them and we say, me and you and our citizens them, we go continue for go through this. Thank you very much, sir. Now your contribution on that, sir.
Thank you very much, Professor Kutu. To buttress some of the things that you just say. Again, we say this because I always want people to understand. Waiting that we own intention and waiting that we motivation, we make with the participate in shows like this. Because I am of the view that there is not enough room for we always come out SALONE. We're still interested in SALONE. We still love SALONE. For go into politics for try for change SALONE. Because it's a small country, it only has limited amount of space. But we get a large and a vast majority of people in the diaspora where they people where they overseas, because sometimes when you use the word diaspora, since we're broadcasting for the ordinary person, they may not know what that means. We were there outside the country. Even get for be overseas. If you're Guinea, you're Liberia, you're not part of the diaspora. But we want to let people in, let those in power. My dispute with these guys, I had a friend, in fact, I have this friend, me in the talk the other day, with the issue of Australian come out. So he tell me about him brother, who once upon a time Nabi, nabi, if he just get either in first degree or in second degree, master's degree, and brother end up getting a PhD. But when he go England for the first time, when he come back, this brother in mama na woman we get some education. So in the mood of being happy and glad for seeing Peking when they talk, at one point he say, Baba, what do you learn overseas where you think say you can help for introducing this country? We go help we. Just a simple question. My friend tell me say, his brother was a little bit offended by that. His answer was, well, mama, the one day way to go learn, way in a position for change things and not change. And why you ask me? I be just go no more overseas for those as on a scholarship, but me not teaching business at DEPA. So when the person tell me that, and I say to him, I say, well, yeah, but I don't think it's an appropriate answer down there to the main question. My main question was very intelligent. The point I'm trying to make now is we all whether come abroad, or even the one we all whether left SALONE. Like na Liberia, if you go, like na Guinea, you must see things in that country. You must experience things in that country if you live there long enough, where you go say, I wish this day SALONE. Okay? And when you come back to SALONE, you only to way you can start. So it's so disappointing for see, like the city council, the dispute where they go on now between the mayor and the central government involve people who are supposed to know better. Where this kind of dispute not for even to take place if it wasn't for selfish and political reasons. If they all focus on what is good for Sierra Leone and the country and the city of Freetown, this kind of dispute never take place. But for the dispute to reach the level where the mayor and the council feel helpless because they not think say we get the ability for resolve such a dispute, with court system not equipped, not get the ability, with parliament not able to resolve that, and the parliamentarians have been very, very quiet about it, which is another thing I don't understand. Because these kind of all these parliamentarians, every one of them, I believe, get either land or house or residence in Freetown. So they get vested interest in the dispute, in the outcome. So I don't understand why Parliament just thinks that this is none of their concern. Why the executive, the president, union group thinks say it's none of their concern. Why you go get a civil servant or an employee who is being insubordinate, and in superior not get the ability for terminating service or suspend them or do something for changing course of action. And how can we look at such a thing and we think say it's good? At the end of the day, for those who are pursuing this strictly on this nonsensical tribal line, which I find to be the most ridiculous nonsense about tribe, I think the best thing we can do for some of the people who are so hung up on this tribal thing, they need to go back and read the history. And a good many people who think they are of a certain tribe will be shocked to know that they are not. They belong to a certain tribe only because when people come from another country, particularly from the northern part and the eastern part, the border with Liberia, the border with Guinea, they will be very surprised to know when the people in Canada settle in the area. So if you come up from Guinea, you settle in the north. If you settle in Kabbalah, then places, so then you could become the next generation, go acquire all the practices and habits and values of the dominant tribe in the area. And then those people begin to act, think, and behave like they are part of that. And after 3 or 4 generations, they begin to call themselves we're this, we're that. But that's not, in reality, that is not what you are. So some of who they call ourselves Mende, we call ourselves Timini, we call ourselves Limba. Go back and search your background. You may not be what you think you are. You may be claiming certain tribe only because your grandparents or your forefathers come and settle in another area of the country where make you begin to think like you are part of that tribe there. I don't want to go into any details because this can be a subject of another thing. But tribalism, we're all for join and condemn them. If you support tribalism, you should support racism. If you justify tribalism, you should have no problem with racism. You shouldn't complain about it. Because you should only complain when you there at the receiving end. And you support them where you didn't at the end where they give or where they met them out. So my suggestion for we where they pursue political activities, political goals, because we think, say, this now with tribesman. I suggest the first thing you need to do now for go back. I always tell people I grew up upline. Me a Freetown boy, I grew up in the heart of Mindeland. You know, and I pick up a lot of Minde values. Okay? But I'm able to see things and I can distinctly able to see things that I love growing up country, and there are a lot of things I do not agree with. I can associate with a lot of things upline. We need to stray away from this tribalistic thing because you can see, say, watching the go on a Freetown, you just have a group of certain people where arrive in a Freetown and then get political power. They just feel, say, they should just bulldoze, marshal, then connection and empower, not in what is good for the country, but in what they think they need to get, because some people even say, now we tempt this. Who is we? We are all one. You know? So wouldn't are we? When are we? But even the president himself has not helped to improve or bring the tribes then together. I see in video once when he say he feel comfortable around a certain tribe, more so than any other. That was unfortunate. I don't think a president should talk like that, because a president is a president for all the people, you know. But that said, I understand we have some callers. We can interrupt the discussion and take at least one caller and go back to a discussion, depending on how. So hello, caller. What's your name? Who side you call from? Caller? Please give me your name and tell where you side you call from.
Good morning. I call from Dubai.
You call from where?
Dubai.
Oh, okay, thank you. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning, day. I wanna all thank you for them program where they try to educate the people. I wish I can get a radio broadcast na SALONE, but I'm sure they not go award the license, because they expose, they not say not for everybody in the country get access to internet. You see? And some of them tell what they talk. Then people are then they blindfold with people always. Now they don't make unity not in the country, love not in the country. Everybody gets in own different mind, just because of their own selfish gains and way they achieve. To be honest, it's sorry for like how they see things and they go this way. What are the foundation for the kids and yet unborn, born and yet unborn? I at times I can just discuss but everything but SALONE. Now like make I totally denounce myself from Sierra Leone, being somebody else. This government just can't do extraordinary things the way not favorable for the nation. No good thing, not the way you dey about that country. Every day way you listen news, na the negative part. It just don't take the country as like say na your property. Now waiting one in the happen. Me, I not support none of them two party. I wish we can get a better person where they kick them people out of this nonsense where where the country they part. But hey, who is that right person? Me upon all them where they say the flag bearers, I not seen none we get love for the country. But because the reason being, among the all, would I go raising and say now this it don't do for the country? None for them. Both the past government and the current one, the way they say then a flag bearer, the way one stand for all that country. What have they done for the country? Not that they don't have it. See waiting they go on to they would have done pull in pocket. Personally, say la can do for the weight self apart from the political gains. It's too pathetic. Who they see other country then they not care about politics, then they do for them people and they look now. Senegal waiting this footballer they do. The president call and say, you know waiting, I want you succeed me if I the left power. But none of them big one and the way they call themselves flag bearer or minister or whatever. Pass owner the diaspora then now they try for help. Where would I not get interest over politics? Now where people are blind. To be honest with you, if me or mine, then everybody within a salon in mind, we can never vote for anybody where mother in time don't make it leave the country. And if I'm fortunate for be a leader yonder, I don't know because then they push me for becoming a politician. I've never had the intention, but to be honest, if we sit down back we relax, then people are going to end up for turn way as a fool. At times, Kutubu, I can feel say a bias. The way how if they talk against the past government, make it not misquote me. Are they against them two parties? But I feel say if I be hard on this very government as well, they are not doing anything good for the country. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, sir. We appreciate you comment and we take it to heart because we like the fact that people then they listen. You just bring one fact to my attention where we go try for bring to we producer and owner of the broadcast about the radio and internet aspect of this type of broadcasting. Because indeed, the more people we reach, the more people and go understand what can happen. And that's true, the internet facility no exist. The vast majority of the people them no get not only access to internet, but they no get access to computer. And so as a result, some of this will show they're not going to see them, they're not going to hear about them. And it may very well be, like you point out, that the ministers or the government is fully aware of it and say, not too many people can go here and see them, so we're not to worry. Because these guys are not in there for the country. There's another thing where somebody point out to me, where in a very simple word, the person said to me, Mr. Shillon, you know why that country they go hardly go before? I said, no. He said, nobody no love the country. But when I think about that, I say, yeah, indeed. Because if you love something or you love somebody, you go out of your way. You go sacrifice a lot. You go do a lot for impress on that person or on that thing that you care. What we see is we just see opportunistic practices. People then they are abroad. Some have done very well, they don't reach retirement age. Some have not done that well. And then see the last hurrah or last step, now for go home and go into politics. God, so if they can go into politics, then probably might get a good shot or at accomplishing and getting the wealth we they always wish they will have had, but they don't ever get. But let me say, not to everybody get for big gentry. I think wealth is a matter of, that's a million personal opinion, it's a matter of destiny. You know, get nothing for do with it. It gets intelligence, get a lot for do with it, but luck has a lot to do with it. Being at the right place at the right time has a lot. Timing is important. Opportunity is important. So the dumbest person can be wealthy if he's at the right place at the right time. And the dumbest person, if he accomplish wealth, if he acquire wealth, if he get the one that will get sense for managing wealth, he will be rich for the rest of his life. You know? And I did, you know, so we get the institution this. So, but this anxiety for wealth, everybody want to go home for good politics, not because they want to serve, not because they see what they complain of as a thing where they want to straighten out. They want to go there because that's the quickest way they want to forget rich. This is not the disappointing side. Now, this the caller just say, he don't see any hope of either party running the country. That has always been my position. And that has always been my position because I was as astute an APC member as a teenager as anybody else. I can challenge anybody who were there. We joined APC when it was in cool and at the part of the country, Penembo, Kalam District, and Bo, when it was in cool to join APC because you're putting your life on the line. That's where and when we joined APC in the 60s. Okay, after APC just got created. But some of we were intelligent enough or informed enough to have joined the party or have to be motivated by joining because we had role models like Ibrahim Taki. I was a teenager who read newspapers, who spent my last penny and buy Wion. I would spend my last penny and buy Daily Mail. I was very much interested in information. I was politically inclined. I was legally inclined. I would cut class and go to court. I knew all the lawyers, the T.S. Johnson, Bata Macaulay, F.M. Minadem, Abu Kamara. I watched these people in court when I was a teenager. So as I was growing up, I had role models. The Ibrahim Taki, the Dr. Fona, the Siri Foredem. Okay, because these people inspire we because they were driven by ideals. How to make Sierra Leone a good and better place for the upcoming generation, which we were. The unfortunate side, we had a leadership in the person of Shaka Stephen, and I keep saying this. I know it's uncomfortable to a lot of people, who had his own motive because he was from a totally different generation. He was approaching the finish line. He was an old man when he came to power. So he didn't care about doing anything for the succeeding generation. All he cared about was to try to make up for lost time. Go back and read the history. So when he ran into conflict with the Taki and the and the Fauna and the Siriforidem, when he had the man with the power, what did he do? When I know the history, these people were framed, prosecuted, and found guilty and executed in cold blood. So this is part of our history. So when we select, and then during the Stevens era, people need to know there were some young people in Wakeham, some of whom were teaching at Frabe College, greatly admired by the youth, who sold out and joined Stevens, who should have enlightened this man, who should have taken policy disagreement with him, they not do so. They aid him, they abet him. Who ran the country? Bad. Okay, so I have seen it all. In 1968-69, in Penembu, Upper Bambara Chiefdom, our house was a target to be burnt down because we are APC supporters. So people need to understand, we need to put things in perspective. In that era day, I was an anti-Albert Magai, not anti-SAPP, because I was fully aware of his policies. So, but fast forward, we are where we are. But some of the people in where they run the country today, they have no perspective of Sierra Leone political history. That's why they hung up on this tribalism nonsense. You know? And if until such time that we begin to see things in the realistic form and try to do what is good for the country and try for, what would the complaint say, Freetown is overcrowded? Well, everybody has a right to Freetown. If you want to remove people and back into the other parts of the country, take industries, take factories. People will come. When I was growing up, Kenema was renowned for forest industry. Kenema was renowned in Tongofield for SLST, which later became Daminco. There were a lot of people living in Freetown, coming up there for jobs and living there, you know? So we can do the same thing if we begin to move industries inward and bring development to the people. But where everybody wants tap, now Spur Loop, everybody wants tap, now Wilkinson Road, you know? So everybody wants then at the peninsula. Once they come and see that, they not want to go back and develop them place. This is what happens. So we shouldn't be complaining. And when I wait in a government, now that when I did it for. Then go at the job so when I can put on the brains and on education to use and come up with some remedy we're good for society. So I agree with the young man. It's very frustrating. You know, someone like me, I lived in America long enough. I have children, I have grandchildren, I have great-grandchildren, America. I have no reason to be this passionate for Sierra Leone, you know? Because America has done 1 million times more for me than Sierra Leone has ever done. But the foundation what Sierra Leone gave me as a child growing up is what that was instilled in me, is that passion that is still coming out of me. That has never been overwhelmed by my presence in America. I will not go into politics regardless of Sierra Leone because I think I have a million, in fact, politics will be a restraint. So I will urge some of Unawe to listen, to look at other avenues, other ways to help the country, not to begin to talk about politics. And be suspicious, as I always say, about those who are talking about I go home, I go run as SAPP and APC. Now, last but not least, I will get a caller. I want to take a call. But last but not least, I just want to make people realize for say, the thing where we need forget at heart is, like Professor Kutubu always say about President Kennedy, he says, the president say, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. So we all for the ask yourself that question there. After all these years abroad, look back and say, what I can do for my country? There are many, 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 many things every one of us can do. You're not going to go into politics. In real little ways, we're going to make a vast contribution. So let's stop at this point and take the caller and call, and then we'll move on. Well, before I do that, I'm sorry. Let me ask Professor Kutubu if he get any comments. Professor Kutubu, will you wait for the caller and then I'll give you the first shot?
Where is that?
Okay. Caller, what's your name? Who side you call from?
Yeah, I call from Sierra Leone.
All right, sir. What time
Yeah,
day is it? The night time now?
Yeah,
Good,
yeah.
good evening.
Nighttime,
Good evening.
exactly. How do you even?
Okay, good.
My first point I want come up with, now the
Yes, sir.
area where you talk about people don't have access to listing some of these type of programs.
Yeah.
That's not true. But I don't know if there will be any mechanism like when the program they go on, then they record the voices and disseminate them, and some of them groups them. You see, sometimes when I can come up with some very, very good ideas, but now just for selected few, we get mind for buy that amount of data for listing the program till it done.
Correct.
So this now one thing this way we wanna come up with way be my own suggestion for the record the voice by beats. Then after some time, after the program done, they scatter on the social media. That's when they una don't educate mass number of people. You understand? Then the other
Yeah.
side again where I get problem, I always they talk this. Kutubu, Mr. Kutubu na two-face type person. When he sits on this program, you see the one person. But when he make in audios, it can sound so sectional, one-sided person. And that's they make a whole thing where they do na this program. They lost the kind thing where they try for portray about the oneness of Sierra Leone and development of Sierra Leone. So now this make a talk and today about a month ago say, if Ikutubu want be that kind elderly state person, like how you barrister they do or justice they do, you go fine in maintain this format. But in doing in audios, he is so vindictive, attacking one personality or few sets of people. You know, they show that kind elderly type of person. Instead, it bring divisiveness. You see what I say? Now, let me take example like the. You want to talk to me?
No, go ahead.
Okay, let me take example like the history we give about the this man Bond and the SLPP and the APC. That story they are young, are fortunate for be somebody we come out from one of when I would say a security personnel to most of them people and they my two parents them serve as security to both of them people and they. And
caller, if you're not finished, you can call back, okay? Because we'll get automatic stoppage. You can call back.
Okay, sir. Okay, yeah.
Sorry about that. Please call back. Because I would like what you to say. Please call back.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Professor Kutubu, we have some. Go ahead and comment, sir. Then hopefully this caller will call back.
On what? Comment on what, sir?
And what did you just say? Do you have anything to say?
Well, let meet me now as SALONE forum. We'll discuss on this. Now, different to help and I will get an agenda now. And me, they go strictly with the agenda. If you want to take up the issue with me now as SALONE forum, no go deal with it, sir.
Okay. Now, what is your opinion in terms of the previous caller? Always say one thing. Wait and go like what this gentleman also said as part of in comment here, earlier part of in comment was that it would be nice for get some of this broadcasts on the radio because more people will be reached and because a lot of people couldn't afford, don't get access to the internet. So, what are you feeling? What are your opinion about that?
Well, people, a lot of people do not get access to the internet again. It's simply, this is where I'm always being misconstrued. Thanks to guys like Alpha Kanden, thanks to guys like ID Kaburen, thanks to guys like Mohamed Banguaden, and the political system. Why? The World Bank give money for the internet, but what happens? It end at the pocket. And when you bring the internet up, they accuse you of attacking people. So back to you, sir.
All right. Thank you, Professor. Let me take another call. Hello, caller. Which side? Which your name? Which side you call from? Caller.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good afternoon, SALONE. How are you, sir? Professor Fadima here. Hello,
Mr.
viewers.
Adina. It's a pleasure. That's for your real voice. You've made our day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've been listening in, but doing that stuff, I was among people. I couldn't do it. But I want to respond first to a comment where somebody put on the thing, and people they fail for realize it, and I want to see the person where right time because I respond to them. My name is Jeremy Simbe Sengbe say Jeremiah. Jeremiah say stop talking about history. Talking about history. And long time with people like can say if you don't know who side you they go, no side you come out because your history will always be the guide, your past. Who side you come out, who side you begin, how far you the measure, who side you don't reach, who side you don't go, and how far you get for go, and what you get for do. Because if you don't know history, and people are rejecting history, the young ones I notice, I don't know how old this person be, but the young people I notice, also not talk about history. Or then he say forget about the past for whatever. No, you cannot forget about past where you don't know if how you go hold SALONE to standard where you don't know the standard where SALONE been there before. And that is what the people are not getting. And they feel say you they attack government, you they attack whoever is in power. It's not about attacking people. It's about measuring who's how we been there. Look who's how we don't come out. See the growth where we don't be. If your life been better 5 years ago, 10 years ago, to what you there now? How for change? How for grow? What's in the plan? What is the game plan? Coming back to the table, what thing we don't do wrong? What thing we don't neglect for? How we go push we country go before? When the basic Sierra Leonean go able for make at least 2 meals a day, at least for able provide for a family where they go work, at least the business will be booming, the middle class will come back, industries will grow. This is why they keep talking about history to remind us. Say, Usa we come out. Usa we come out. It was golden. Usa we come out. It was the glory days compared to Usa we did now. But if you don't know as a child growing up maybe in your mid-30s, 40, 20, you don't know because you didn't see that Sierra Leone. And the Sierra Leone now, you then look and say, okay, but it is not okay to the standard where Sierra Leone been there. And when people forget that, they therefore know that. It is not that we like to talk about history, but we like to remind with people them, the one that where they govern, whether they can't take say they want to govern the country, let them know whose side we've been there for no whose side and they can't win because the direction is not going the direction and the thing. And I make an audio and I beg me producer, please play that audio, let the people go at the end of the thing for remind with people them. Because it was once upon a time a politician they sit on a power waiting where for go who say for go they not put another pocket they like see there we did like how we did in the country so but then some people are fighting you then they pull close for fetch you and curse you because you condemn them posting where then they for or the party where then they for many years our politicians have been going the wrong direction taking our money, exploiting the country in wealth and resources for their own personal gain without improving the lives of the people. This is the thing here. Until we open our mind and realize, until Sierra Leoneans open their mind, we're still going to be in that same merry-go-round and merry-go-round and merry-go-round world they can. With they recycle the old politicians, they're coming back with their old tricks, they're coming back with their revenge, they're coming back with their plans. When okay, we go nowhere for the past 60 years, but we just went down and we keep going down. There's nothing coming up about it. Yes, one or two people will do little things, but that little things, it's not enough. Where they could do better and do more. We therefore stop to accept mediocrity. We have to want more, but it's going to start with us. What do we want for ourselves? Because if you accept how your government they treat you, if you accept how you are being treated, and then they disregard you now, then they flaunt wealth then on our face them, but yes, you know, they clap for them. Oh, oh, you know, like this, you know, like this, you know, like this. But people don't go through. How we go? Who say we go? How we go? Not the same place we go there. Then they wait till they call. Then let we just left them, let them do anything what they want to do, because they look like we they waste with them for talk. Yes, the other caller them, you know, the brother from Freetown and the other one from I think it was Dubai or something, talk about the people they wait for area. Yes, VOS had the opportunity before for join a major station in Freetown, but things did not go the way they. VOS get the opportunity before. He put in for station for try to get a broadcast radio station at Freetown. 30 days the progress not go through. Money don't disappear, things don't do. The things are happening. But like you said, the people them they would not want to hear that. They would not want us there because they know why you hear the truth. They want the people they want to sing praise, where they clap for them all the time. That's what they want. And look at this. And they will fight you if they see say you they can't do something. When they bring enlightenment to the people, when they improve the country, when they do something, they don't want you. They don't want you. And then the people, then what do you want for yourselves as Sierra Leoneans? We, the people outside Sierra Leone, we carry a lot of people and burden that we aid. We are sending $200, $300, $400, $500 every month. Is bill. Every month that you responsibility for take care of your people. If government with the work right, we go do that. No. When I came to America in the 80s, my mama would send for me $1 from Freetown to America. My mother was taking care for me with money. So you see, so they had money then. Business people were things were going on, but there's nothing going on much. The one the way they do business now, they all get broke down. It's only a few people that are getting the way they call all the other people that Krawa and come where they get. So this is why they get for talk about history, for remind us. So Allah left on alone and continue our show. But I just want to get to this call because these things bother me when I see people. It's like, what are you thinking about? Can I shake you and just go inside your brain and see how you think? Why do you say these? That is my thing. That sometimes I just get so carried away by them kind of thing because I don't understand it. I'm trying to understand what do we still they think like how they think so. So I left on a force. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you so much, Ms. Fadima. I think you said the name of the person was Mr. Sengbe Sise. If I hope I get the name correctly. May comment about that in two ways. First and foremost, I don't know of any reasonable human being who has the slightest idea of a purpose on this earth and who has love of country who will dismiss history. No country, every country is part of the history. So anybody will say, oh, now they talk about history, that put that person in a category of the very few. Because in the plain American language, we could say he doesn't know what he's talking about. Because how you could just dismiss history. History gives you a point of reference. And as Ms. Fadima saying, a Creole parable land, so I don't know how this gentleman familiar with that saying there. If you don't know side to go, no side you come out. But if you say you're not interested in history, So it will be good. Please, you can send in comments again. Tell us which are you your position. Don't just criticize. So are there any problems in Sierra Leone that you think of, or Sierra Leone is fine? Do you think Sierra Leone is being run the best way possible, or can we do better? I mean, if you think everything is fine, history is irrelevant, it's unnecessary, everything so far since independence has been well run, more power to you, you know? But I know say also, I don't get offended because not only people can differ, but you will always have this kind of people who allow the emotional attachment to a cause or to a people or to a tribe for override the common sense and intelligence. I not think say I can muster enough courage for agree or disagree with anyone we dismiss history. When you put history at the dustbin of irrelevancy, then there is very little I have to say. So I will say to that gentleman who will send the comment, if you think all is well and good, please call, send in, tell us all the wonderful things with which man left Giwi, or if maybe you're not interested in knowing. But tell we which are the wonderful things where they take place down in Sierra Leone, how we better pass anything the country will ever see, and how we set the stage for the future for unborn generation. Or maybe you don't care. That's not what you're concerned. You're only concerned about yourself. But society has always had those group of people. You get the smallest group, we always talk for society. You get a larger group, we always care about themselves. You know? So that's all I have to say to that person there. But if you think, say, a country, a government, they address low-income housing, they address poverty, they address unemployment, they address health issues, for the ordinary man, not for you, this gentleman who don't know anything about history. If you think all of that is well and good, you're welcome to your opinion. That's all I have to say. Professor, you have anything to do before I go to the next caller?
No, sir. No, proceed.
Okay. Hello, caller. What's your name?
Evening. How are you? How are all they do there?
We do very well, sir. Thanks for asking.
Welcome. But when I thank you though for them sacrifice when all can take so, because now a big sacrifice, let God continue for guide and protect on.
Amen.
Yeah. Me takes for this program. I like the program because most of the time I do on this program. Just I can unfortunate for the contribute. What I want to say now that at the thing in this way, some of we can think history not in a salon. Not blame that caller or that person. The history don't die in a salon. We not get culture, we not get history. So these are the fundamental things and way then government they put in place. To be honest with you, all they can come now for their own self-interest and for can monopolize the country, because no sooner as you be a president of that country, you don't be the god of everybody. And now other thing again don't kill the country. When integrity, nobody not get self-respect again. For small breeze where they blow some people. Let us make an example. Some of them leaders there where they left another party for go support this man by your bad act. Likewise, the same SLPP where they will also in a opposition Friday, we see most of them they jump. If I fortunate to be a leader in another country, we don't be in a party, they jump go in any party because that is a sign of corruption. Then they go to the constitution. In fact, the whole thing about the constitution is just a mess. And now into that mess they would happen. So then young constitution now waiting the favor there. Look like waiting this president do after the mass killing where he don't do at the country. They say they can abolish this death penalty. Now, because ain't no waiting don't do. You see, these people no good for the country. I'm sorry for my language. We get the sycophancy then they, and people away. I don't know. Then small prison for blow them. Now label business then they. This man they do bad. We get people away they hail. Now in your government force, anybody can grab overnight and put in your law. Look, this one we go grab say how they can do. The reduction to we money. You know the effect we then they get for bring. You know the starvation back where then they get for generating in the country. Because some people then go scared for even go change for their money. They get a lot of disadvantage where that they get for create. When the masses then go suffer, they don't go suffer. Where light no day, then they get light. Where fuel go up, then they then get free fuel, then get everything free. And two again, when they talk about internet, they can never let you be. They can never let you have a radio station at the country. Because when they open people their eye, mark my words, when I go deeper than 10 years, 20 years, you can never be there. I know my country. Thank you. I appreciate it now.
Thank you very much, caller. We appreciate the comments and everything when I say where they take them into account very, very, very well. So thanks for calling. Please continue listening. We will keep, like Jesse Jackson can say, the last thing we have to give up now hope. We have to keep hope alive, no matter how bad it looks. So, but then I'll stay too long on the line. Let me take another call from another caller. Then I'll ask Professor Kutubu for step in. Hello, caller. Who's how you to call from? What's your name?
Hello, viewers. This is now Umaru, the call from Switzerland.
Hello, Alpha Umar. How are you, sir? Always a pleasure for hearing your voice.
Thank you very much, Adiduela. I just want to give you your own contribution because I noticed something. By the way, before ever I go first, that young man with the talk about that history, so I'm not saying I go blame him too much. Because what it happened, yeah, some of the history can make point, but we get some history there, like for instance, in the old discussion, in the old discussion, not to make any progress into the discussions. I'm not going for call whether it can come from me or it can come from Professor Kutubu, but most of the time we can get some history. As you begin to talk, so we don't know who said the history, we don't know what the history, because we don't read the history 50, 60 times now, these programs. So like all the time, the history, the programs. But that one, side discussion, I just contribute a little bit. More like you talk about this low housing. This housing issue, we, the diasporans, contribute, and then one day we get a chance for being the contribute. Most of the time, the type of houses they would inherit, like for advanced countries, they get like housing business, real estate, build houses with apartment, make the people sell them by apartment other than, but Sierra Leone, we don't believe in that. All we believe in for build one big old 6-room and parlor, you use up and down for build up. But build houses, now they come up with idea. We don't believe now, we don't see how they do them. Build houses, sell them at least at cheaper price, even if not by apartment, let people buy them. But that all not happen again if the government don't make it easy for the people. Because when the government make it easy, the Sierra Leoneans when they live abroad, they get confidence in the system. But if the Sierra Leoneans when they come on now don't go spend $40,000, $50,000, don't buy some acres of land, then it go left now one developer at least for do that, and then you go get somebody where even though say it come out, at the end of the day they decide for go grab that property again. All now the problems with that, So I feel say most of the problems and we and the government, we get for solve them. The people get for willing for invest. The government get for willing for at least facilitate the processes. So most of the housing problem we get as we get land. Sierra Leone, majority of we land we don't exploit it. We get land, but apart from the type of building the way people erect, then are the problem. People use land. You go use land for big house. Yes, it's necessary. It's fine. But when you make an apartment, you sell, you make profit, you buy. For get property, you find. But at least if you sell, you invest now in the develop. But believe me, if you get one house, you build one house, 50, 70,000. Now the name say you get house, But at the end of the year, what did they realize in that house? How much profit did they make? Than if you build house by apartment, you sell. Most of Sierra Leoneans, yes, they do, but now we change the mind of development. Now we change the mind of investment. How they invest, which kind of investment they make money in that country, And I think so for most of them discussion, I will get a positive discussion. And most of them get for help, they get for change the mindset of where then the diaspora, then also the government, because now the two sides for come together to make sure the things work like the way they expect them, So the main contribution that I listen to the program, and if I get any contribution, I will call and make contribution. But don't let them know. I think say the history, we get some history where they don't repeat, like some of us say begin to talk, so we don't know who said the history they come out. So some people don't really tired with this type of history where the whole way back in terms of discussions, Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Umar. I always appreciate you calling and giving your views. So we can't thank you enough. Part of the comment we will get from Mick about the type of investment, let me remember, it's true, what you suggest, so maybe we need to come up with ideas of how for help with the shortage of housing in Sierra Leone by changing with style of investing and developing real estate. Maybe I agree with you. The apartment suggestion, rather than building a whole house that people cannot afford to buy, maybe it is always better to have apartments that can be sold at a lower scale. But there is a lot of downside to that, because if you look at the economy, the government not get any mechanism in place whereby people can get loan like how we get in that country. The government had to set criteria for the people then for say and work with people, the potential investors them. The people that will go build an apartment and then for building with the belief that certain people will qualify with the help of government assistance or cooperation with the bank, and so they can able to buy them property then that will encourage would I build a building we get, for example, 8 apartments. If you're able to sell your 8 apartments within a reasonable time with some small profit, it will encourage you to build another one and another one. The trouble why people in the build one whole house instead of building apartments is because people cannot afford it, no matter what you make the price, because the system not set up in a way for help people them forget loan, long-term loan, because we just, again, the criticism of government is because of the lack of them kind of policies there. When we talk about low-income housing, the last time we get low-income housing in Sierra Leone, Kisii area, now during the colonial time, the white man came. Now the white man see the need for build one. When we take over, we just left them with the policy of survival of the fittest. In fact, it gets so bad that the top civil servants there, they go live at the low-income housing for the poor people. Them. Again, this is touching on history. And then they go tap there. Then they build host a hill station and rent the host a hill station to which people them and expert and to the government. Then they tap at the host there when they're not supposed to. The same policy was established in Afrabe College for certain professors, where sometimes you knew you just come from abroad, you not get placed, then give you what we would call a quarter. The white man may get that a lot. Now Freetown, upline, where they get quarters provided for employees them. Make you there and save some money so you can able to build. But when we come, we stop that privilege there and that opportunity there to others. So the Ocean and Kisii, instead of we build more low-income housing where the white man they see the need of, We just go the other direction. So, because if the government itself can build low-income housing, in addition to providing opportunities, working with the local banks, particularly Australian, we even are lucky in the sense that we on government get vested interest than as shareholders in a bank like Rokel Bank, National Development Bank. Then as shareholders, in fact, they get most of the shares. You see, not like other countries where the bank now purely private enterprise. So, but then they come up with policies where go help. This is what we're complaining about. We all there abroad. We see what they prepare to do for themselves and for we when are foreigners. Oh, look at the large number of people there where they come out of Afghanistan, where they go to the European country, or America. Government go look out for them. We not believe in doing none of that. These are the things we condemn because there is a tremendous display of extreme irresponsibility and insensitivity. These guys just don't care. If I was in broadcasting, I would have said, give a damn. They just don't care. So when they kind of power, we will know a little bit of something. Now, so we take judge then the one that will care and the one that will not care. When you come in a power, your old position, you need to do nothing for the ordinary man. You need to set up policy for the ordinary person. Then the one that way they abroad, where they try for invest the money, they block them. When they block them, don't not forget that one. Our country, when you go there with your little money, you say, I want to help my people them. It's not easy, Mr. Umar. The government, they block you. And then they make it easy. And like you say, also, the one that want to go buy property, like land, for develop, as you turn your back, so, then thief you land. Then go into the system, then begin bribe. So there is a lot of fixing we have to do. But the one day within a government, we don't go to a government, we say they want serve. Because the only reason I you for going to government, no other reason. The only reason why you for join government is for serve. Not to go get gentry. Because the only way you get gentry by working a government for thief. There is no other way. Now thief, no more you go thief. So we have to understand the system. Even when we run them, the bank as it is, a foreigner go come, he go get a loan at the banks. You, a local, not go able to get a loan at the bank, even if you get a collateral. So there's a lot of problems. So we just point out them problem and they let we know why. There's a lot of reasons why we're not to progress. We'll get another caller. Let me ask this caller. Hello, caller. Where you calling from? And what's your name?
Yeah, okay.
And Professor, please make note of what
I'm calling from Germany.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I did follow the program. I just want to touch on a few points in because one of the callers in talk about history. He begin talk fine. I don't want to attack anybody, but a specific caller where they call from Switzerland. You know, we're not going to forget about history. History, they play a very important part in our lives. You know, now Sierra Leone, in public sector, in private sector, even the job they do at this part of the world. History, companies that they make their decisions through history. Yeah. So, but I don't want to go through that, you know, because history for we and for the people that we back home, they get for know because when people they sit down for go put their ballot for go vote, why make you make a decision for go vote in the country? Which person we you want to vote for? Those politicians, the one that we get interest in politics, then they come, I they will analyze and prepare. They fit. Who say they go look for no say Mr. X can bring one bag rice for me. That go vote for him. Because of the one bag rice we bring, I go vote for him. You don't know in history, in historical background in the context of politics. Has he ever been there in politics? What he don't do for in constituency? We don't hold them accountable. And this is a lack of accountability from we citizens of Sierra Leone. We are also part of the problem. Understand? We get forget we think incorrect. We get for ask yourself then questions them. Why would they put the wrong people in up at the power na Sierra Leone? You know. Then another point I want to talk about is all we to talk about. I don't know if many people have been follow 2005, then come up with a document from the government of Sierra Leone, we then call poverty reduction strategy paper. We all the problems that we were facing, so it did it. A national program for food security, job creation, and good governance. That is a solid document. We then compile, we touch all the problems after the war in the country, in political and economic context. Waiting at the processes then we then get for put in place for let we come out from poverty. The housing sector, waiting at the poverty states, na the province system and everything. Then touching a whole lot of all those documents, then just put in a dustbin. We know they implement policies. We have so many educated Sierra Leoneans, but because of our selfish interest, just like we, Mr. Shilon, they talk, we know able for the lack of love in the country. We know able for implementing policies here. The policies are there. We can take study cases like Rwanda, Ghana, you know, and implement them policies here for let country go before. You know, we Sierra Leoneans, especially we in the diaspora, we know they use way. I know they cause people more critical thinking. Let me underline that word, the critical thinking. Let us think. Why make we in this situation right now, the elected? Why? Have we ever asked ourselves these questions? There's a lot. I just sorry, me time don't do now, but
please call back.
Solutions indeed. Yes, I'll call back. The solutions indeed, we get them. He did it. You know, thank you very much. I'll call back again.
Thank you so much, sir. We always appreciate every call, regardless of your view, because we are just here to point out things, and we are always very welcoming of people them with the call and make their own contribution with the basic understanding that we all cannot see eye to eye, but with the urge people them for just direct then comment based upon what is in the best interest of SALONE. So Professor Kutubu, you there 2-3 callers and call. Before we still get some callers. Before we go to them, I want for just talk to you. For if you get any comment.
Not quite, sir. I mean, low to the callers.
All right. Hello, caller. What's your name? Who's you to call from?
Hi, Isna. Hello.
Hello, we hear you. Cut the radio down behind you or the TV.
Yeah, I just did. Hi, this is anonymous. I just called to make a little bit of contribution. I think when I also what they do, and I just want to talk to the young one them we get ambition and we they plan to do something in Sierra Leone. But right now it hurts. For you wake up in the morning and realize for say one bag cement don't go to 120,000 leones, and you're trying to do something with the little that you have, you know. And we get a president, we get a country where it be say everything just they go upside down right now, and it hurts, you know. So it's not about history, it's not about anything, but at least let the government in the present moment, let them try for do something and look into the things and where they stop people them from growing, because we know they're able to grow. They talk about building apartments, they talk about building houses. If you don't get the raw material for let you go on and manifest these dreams, how are you going to be able to fulfill your goals? And right now, it don't make them so difficult that for 1 million leones, you only get 9 bags of cement. Think about it, building a 2-bedroom apartment from that, how much it will cost you, and how much na the average income na the country, how much the average person they able to earn na the country right now, and everything where they sustain SALONE right now na diasporans them, because for the month It's a lot of us that are pouring in our monies down there to take care of our families, you know. And at the end of the day, it's kind of like we did drain Naya. We did try to do something down there, but then down there also there's no stability and there's no hope. There's no like nothing. And you see the government not they do nothing about this. And they are out there boasting. They are out there lavishing the country in money. How about the people and where they import them goods them, when are they able to clear them? And then the poor Sierra Leonean end up for pay, you know, the price. So I woke up this morning and I heard this news because I'm trying to do something down there as well. And for me to only hear now one bag cement don't go 120,000 euros, then you're trying to do something good. It's not just for me. I can stay here. I can, because I'm out here. Life is good, you know. I'm just me. But if you try to do something as SALONE for let you able to help the other Sierra Leoneans them, send your hand down for let you bring another person up. And then the opportunity is just gone. Like, how do you deal with this situation? Like, this is a question I want answered. Please. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, caller. We appreciate the call, and we hope we'll go address them before the show is over. I understand there is another caller online. Hello, caller. Please tell me your name and tell which side you call from.
Hello?
Hello. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. This is Nababa talking.
All right. Welcome.
Yeah. Honestly, Barrister, okay. Barrister, yes, Barrister. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Baba.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, as I've been telling you just now, the main problem we all face,
Don't forget that you get time limit, so do as much talking as you can.
Yes, I don't release that. Okay. The main problem we face now the issue of how to disseminate certain information. Yes, now the issue of the thing that we disseminate. As I've been talking now, the information we all together right now, the two-face what be the talk about just now. Now that area of where in Kutubu, unagiria lege for take to Kutubu.
We can't hear you.
Now the points that they make, me man. Now the points that they make.
Now so we're not hear you. Hello?
Unagiria lege for talk to Kutubu. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir.
You get me?
Yeah, I get you now.
Okay. Unagiria lege for talk to Kutubu.
Something got to be wrong with the line. We're not hearing everything you say. Oh. Caller, we're not hearing everything you say. Hello? Okay. Well, caller, I want to hear what you say. So we'll take another call. If you're able, you can call back. Hello, caller. Who's are you there? Who's are you to call from? If you want, you can tell me your name.
Mr. Mike, I call from Philadelphia.
Okay. You say Mike?
Yes, Mr. Mike, I call from Philadelphia.
All right, sir. Nice talking to you, Mike. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, no problem.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say, you see, we as Sierra Leoneans, we know the problem, but we hypocrite to the problem. No. We're very hypocrite to the problem. We know what thing they destroy the country, but we hypocrite to that. We not stand up and fix the problem. We just patch it. Look at Connaught, how Connaught today, or look at the people and the government, this government, because system day. We're not fix that one day and try to solve the situation in the country. We know the problem. Look at the way the light system in the country. Where we say light, not everything. Okay? I don't care if it depends on your minerals, raw material, or anything. No country not ever develop based on a raw material. They develop based on manufacturing. So we know the problem. We know to fix the problem. Now we hypocrite to ourselves. As Sierra Leone, we're very hypocrite to ourselves. Up till now, we're not able to get sustainable light in the country. Up till now, we're not able to get good drinking water in the country. People they die of typhoid. You know, we need to stand up as Sierra Leoneans there and solve our own problem. No white man not the camp for can solve the problem. And then they will fail for realize. When they choose people there, who they left there, who they put there, to account, and when they do bad, who they support them back. But we say more, we support them back. People that destroy our country, we support them back. You know, we're not to stand up as Sierra Leoneans. We're not to stand up. Now, problem, Dandy. You know, when you stand up, they say, on this side you did, on that side you did. But you have to stand up for your country, the country that you love. Now, don't do that. Nobody knows the can fix that for we. Okay? All the other things they do so, where they waste the money, where they depend on or try to impress the international community, or for impress with young people in the country. I mean, your contribution on it.
Thank you so much, Mike. We appreciate you calling. Your opinion well expressed. So we hope you will continue to make calls and listen to the program. Thank you so much. Professor Kutubo, you have any comment?
If we get forward to the next, topic, that's fine.
Well, for me, let I just say a few things because okay, I will hold off because they say we have two callers, at least two more callers on the line. Normally, not look for announce how many callers we get because that will put you in trouble. If you take one, you not take the other, then it become another problem. But the calls have been coming in steadily. So we will take two more. We will take two more calls. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you call from?
Hello, Mr. Shilon. This is Omar. They call again.
Okay, Brother Omar. Thanks for calling again.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to make a comment. But before I do first, do a better so, but people are waiting at the call. For the call, you attack somebody on the program. So tell well, for make you attack somebody in personality, like what that call happened. But anyway, that it don't happen done. The woman we call this, he talk one very important, he talk about price, how price is skyrocketing in Sierra Leone. We all know that. Now make me comment where I be make, I say the willingness go for the on both sides, But when you check the amount, some of you don't buy cement in Guinea, you don't buy cement in SALONE. When you check the amount where you buy cement in SALONE, the amount where you buy cement in Guinea is still expensive than where you buy cement in SALONE. Where you pay somebody for beat one block cement in Guinea is still expensive than where they pay somebody for beat one block cement in SALONE. But what we they talk, yes, we know say for invest very difficult, especially when in terms of housing or sorting, very really capital intensive, But we get for try. Most of the time we give excuse before we try. And most of who they go, not that yes, the woman talk something makes sense because when you spend money, you get for expect say you get for make profit and you get for getting money, you know. But you get for try. If you not try, you know go get make. Yeah, if you go you build houses, you go you talk. We get for do we own side. The government get for do your own side. Government get for make it easy that if I get 4,000, I go to $4,000 na salary. At least I will get chance at least for get another 2,000 add up. Do what I want to do. You know, but Sierra Leoneans, we get for willing for try. Now we left this blame game. When you say investment, somebody go say if I go there, then go eat the money na me. And if I go, yes, we they complain too much. Now we they try. I know the things are very difficult there, and not only there. Nigeria, things are difficult. If they tell you how much one bag cement because they, in fact, when you tell Nigeria man, but how much they buy land na SALONE, then you compare what in the buy land na Nigeria. It only much you go tell us in Nigeria they give free. Guinea where they near we, land very expensive than we, house rent expensive than we, but yet the people are building, they are investing. You know, all we get for do, let we try we own side. This blame game, they all side. The government get their own problem, we get our own problem. Everybody just get for let's go and we strive for develop Sierra Leone. It is difficult, but now we get for do them. The government alone not get for able to do them. We alone not get for do them. And this, you know, go say, you know, camp and politics, not to politics in terms of development. It has nothing to do with politics. Let we all just put on deck, we do them. And this place now one of the medium that is where people are listening to, the diaspora they're listening, and I don't get to engage most of the time with people. But when you talk, they go tell you say, then they go lock you, they go do yes, it happen. But you got to build your own system, your own private system, build system where before say you go to guide your money and do what you able to do at least for promote Mama SALONE. You know, it's difficult everywhere, not always Sierra Leone. Difficult everywhere. Prices are going up everywhere, not only Sierra Leone. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Omar. One more caller. Hello, caller. What's your name? And who say the call?
Mr. Ture, Mr. Silon. And I've been doing the listen to our program. I do best. Now they try, but I want to contribute small to our program.
Thank you, sir.
You listen to me, eh? Listen to?
Yes, I hear you. I hear you. No, not you.
Mr. Silon, we don't train in Europe. We're not professionals. I think say we they try for focus on ordinary people. I think you program, try for focus on this, the people where they don't take the duty. Say they want for serve the people. And the service where they provide to the people, now it not be the quality, now it make everything they go bad. The institutions then don't degrade in such a way that they're owned by the people and where they're employed. Now the institution first, where we try to tell the government, let they establish the institutions. Without strong institutions, nothing will happen. Mr. Silon, if you want to do something at SALONE today, you go to an institution, and so to God, just like you go to some man in your office, in your private. Everything where they do, what you want. Without that, you know they go through. I will call one time, make I tell you the examples of what we don't pass through. But the institution today at SALONE, have so to God, what in British people then left to we. You don't go more than 50% poorer. And then control like communists. Nobody know the cross. If you not pay, if you not do what they want, if you not do the type. And let me tell you, Mr. Silon, one of the worst thing to get na SALONE, na fake document. Fake document. And this, you don't rampant. Only money one don't know if they print. Well, I swear to God, Mr. Silon, no document no dey na SALONE to the way they know they print. And authentic, no way no dey for proof. The higher authority then they inside, you know. Well, you go to any office today na SALONE. I swear to God, the document when a sensitive document they give. And how they get her. Mean at that route, I don't see saying I don't destroy with society. As long as we not get institutions, we not the maker. And this, the other point where I want to tell you, Mr. Silon, we they blame the president, the leaders. But the funny thing is, the foreign president become they get the position, become president, they don't already mortgage themselves. Just look, people that who they outside with the campaign, the people without knowledge, without experience, pretending they are journalists. These are the people who are going to rule tomorrow because they have already mortgaged the president. The people that were in the campaign for, they don't mortgage themselves to this type of people. They don't get money. They don't get money for that. They don't want to use the money for that campaign. Now, the young people, them bad people that they use for that campaign for them. When they become leader, at the same thing, I ain't going to repeat now with country. So now the thing that one day, when the leaders they trap, they can't do anything. And Mr. Silola tell you, some people that when they return, as if we don't talk, they not get nothing. Yes, the last one, the people when they return with PhD. Man like me, I don't prepare so many PhD for people that they not get no experience. And then when they get in Europe or America, they not get nothing. They not do nothing at SALONE. So when they don't go now, they not get no place for return. So what thing they happen now? They do all out for let them put the root because there's no place to come back. And since now Europe has changed, they know they welcome people and when they don't go back. When he come, he get for start at scratch. They know that one day, as so to go this election where they come. I doubt it. What thing will happen?
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Kola. Thank you for sharing your experience with we. We'd like for you from viewers like you. I understand, say we get more callers, but we'll go take one more call. I will just say that the last call landed, but we can take one more call because we want for entertain as many people as possible because we know in the call because they get interest and they get opinion. So hello caller, what's your name? Who say you call from?
Hi, Mr. Shilon. Good afternoon, sir. Fadima again. This is a beautiful conversation. First of all, I want to say to the viewers and to the people, you know, this is what we for they do more. For they do more, I'll find the solution. But I want to respond to a few. Mr. Umar come up with this thing, say, you know, things expensive, real estate expensive, grown expensive. Yes, they're expensive because of the economy is booming. Any highway money they, you go by the cost of living. If the cost of living is high, there's money they flow. So therefore, the cost of living high. So you go buy the land in Nigeria go expensive and Guinea, past Sierra Leone because the economy they boom. Even USA Denaya so right now, na Texas, okay, California, Tesla, Apple, they don't move to Austin. They don't build big industry than Austin. The real estate now, when will they buy 100 and something, 200,000. Now they're talking about 300,000-400,000. Yes, because why? There is money. There is money coming up. There is money. I'm talking on the phone, please. Go back. There is money, right? So when the money there, the people like get them for spend. But SALONE now, they don't get them for spend. The price they go up, the inflation they go up, it affects the people then because prices are going up and the effect is people are not getting money for spend. So it's dear for them. Mr. Umar talk a good thing, say yes, we have to not be discouraged. We have to try. We're not gonna go by other person's experience. But then Mr. Toure Nelam, okay, Mr. Toure Nelam said this last caller, in Nelam on the web say the experiences of the people, the things that when they don't do, all the institutions they're watching. It is about money. If you don't do it their way, they don't want it. And they go do your way for let you go able to try for bring what you don't know into the country. They would not do it. That's the frustration of a lot of Sierra Leoneans. And the young girls they talk because you don't get your little bit of nothing. You want to go try for go and make something there. You cannot do it because the system is so difficult. And we get for the broken and like Obama say, without institutions, we have to build institutions because institutions and they improve the lives of the people. We don't have institutions right now in Sierra Leone. Everything is broken. Everything done broke down to the, I mean, we therefore realize the fact, we therefore accept the fact, but then we move forward. Because we cannot be supporting parties, we cannot be supporting people because you elect somebody, and because then they tell you the truth of the person, you refuse to see it. Take off the blindfold, take off the mask. Let me take off the mask on our face. Let me clean the stuff, let me clean with lenses and see the reality and accept it. Until we do that, the struggle continues unabated, but we're still hopeful. That's why we're on VOS. That's why VOS platform there for make people that can voice out. And I tell you that they are listening, they listen to it. They know what we're saying. They hear us. But another caller be saying they don't want to do it. They know everything is there, but they don't want to do it. They can make everything fine on paper. Integrity is gone, says another caller. We don't have integrity. We cannot hold ourselves responsible. Nobody knows accountability. Everybody, it's all facade. Everybody is just playing the game. How far I can go with my people, how far I go ride my people before they say it's enough. I don't tire for being a jackass or a donkey. They ride me and abuse me, So till next week, I love you all, and God bless every single one of our contributions, and I love you all. Next week, by God power, we will continue another conversation. Many things are happening. We have to talk. Good things are happening. Yes, we talk about it. But how do we fix the problem? We get problem as alone. Until you say, I am an alcoholic, I need help, we will not heal. We will not be cured. We will not heal. So I love you all. I left you now. I get to go back to my grandson. So I love you all. God is love. Till next week, when I go be on a beautiful, go shine, go light your world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Fadima. Thank you for the contribution. We'll miss you. Hope to see you next week. Professor, let me go back to you, sir. You've had some of the comments or commentaries by different people. So you get anything for hard?
I got a question for you. We don't hear it on?
Yeah.
If we don't done, if you only are using that, be closing your mic, or
Oh,
if you get some more there, wait.
Not necessarily closing remark. Well, hold off a little bit. Let me just comment on what Ms. Fadima say, what Mr. Toure say, what Umar say. To a large extent, he had to compare country to country in terms of pricing of real property, particularly, because the value of the money also matters, in the sense that Guinea and Nigerian and currencies, I am not so sure about Guinea, but I'm sure the Nigerian currency is higher in value than we own. We own because we get what you call a true inflation, that's Sierra Leone. Because me not an economist, and the economist, luckily, our producer is an economist, so he can correct me if I'm wrong. But inflation, now prices keep going up, and the value of the money keep going down, which is what is being experienced in Sierra Leone. Things are getting more and more expensive, but the value of the currency, as it is not coping with the rise in prices. I think that's the thing. Somebody cited, the young lady cited cement. Cement is a classic example. Cement used to be like 30,000 leones a bag. Fantastic price. Then it went to 50. Then it went to 70. Then it went to 80. Then now they're talking about 120. If the value of the money, the leone, they rise that fast, all will be fine. Nobody will complain. But when you move pricing or prices from 30,000 within a year or two to 120,000, you quadruple the value of that product day or that commodity day. It's kind of high, and then the money value stays the same, or it clearly not get the purchasing power for buy what you use for buy. That's why even an economy like the American economy, one thing a government is particular about controlling in many ways is inflation. because they don't want people and not forget the ability for buy. When you not get the ability for buy, it has a ripple effect, because it means business not go make money. What business don't make money, business not go hire. What business not they not make money, they not get the ability for pay the amount of taxes they would have been able to pay. It affects the economy. We young people in back home, well, we get so many professors. Everybody coming up with a professorial degree. Professor this, professor that. Fine. Those of us who've been through academia, who hold professional degrees, we know to get those degrees is not easy. It's hard work. But getting them is not sufficient, because you don't get them degree and they just for show off. Those degrees should be productive in the end. So the taste of the pudding lies in the eating. So when you're not professor this, you're not professor that, you come, then give you position, then at the end of the day, you are doing worse than somebody who will not be even get a first degree. I think it's a shame on you. When you hold any position in our country there, now we own country specifically, when they give you, at the end of the day, you're not able to add to what you meet in terms of the betterment of the people. Instead, you make matters worse. Shame on you. Ministry after ministry after ministry, starting with my own profession, it's what we see in Sierra Leone. How many people have held the position of Attorney General, Chief Justice, you name it, who will say they've made meaningful, positive changes to the system and in the lives of the people and for the well-being of the country? And these are powerful positions, more powerful than being a parliamentarian. Sometimes, to a large extent, Chief Justice, Attorney General, they can do things even the president don't get the power for do. They can make substantive changes to improve, the dispensation of justice and to make the system more efficient. They can involve in proposals about in creating better facilities for dispense justice. So when these guys come and go, and they not get any legacy, and there is nothing we can point out that they contributed to the system, and God knows we've had a lot of big name, great people, smart, book-wise, but they not get the common sense, because they not get any sense of purpose, and they haven't done what they're supposed to do, what the office calls for them. They don't understand the responsibility they have on their shoulders for the country. Shame on these people. And time after time and time, repeatedly, this is what we see. The total lack of creativity, resourcefulness. We can't think and devise efficiently something. We're still struggling with putting a constitution together. We're still struggling to get our court system to run efficiently. We still don't know how to make the system work. And I have always said this. One main thing we see because we the posture too much. I get a PhD. I get a law degree. I go Harvard, I go Yale, I go Oxford, I go Cambridge. I know it all. I can write constitution. I can write statutes. I can draft, after all, I can write perfect English. None of that is the case. You have to be specifically knowledgeable of certain things to be able to do it efficiently. And some of these guys, they are let down because they went to very, very good, renowned schools where some of us can only be jealous of not having gone to, and are so demoralized and sadly disappointed that we're seeing nothing good coming out of these guys. So I mean, there's a lot we can criticize about the system, but we always get time for stop. So we don't reach. We're approaching the end of the show. So thank you very much, listeners. Professor Kutubu get a closing statement we go get for make, and after that, I can only thank you, people, for listening and making a substantive contribution. Professor Kutubu, back to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shilo. 9/11/01, without any provocation, the enemies of freedom, they come attack the United States. Of course, they see what are the unintended consequences. What can our viewers get the general guidelines that they give? Will they appeal to the audience so they allow to discuss issues then? Let us treat them with respect. What can I? It's never about anybody. About anybody. It's about issues. Just about issues. Not about anybody. Also, I not say anything where go make anybody now viewers talk to me about nothing. Absolutely. Because we get guidelines there with the already. We the producers, we the presenters, as well as the one where they participate. So we all within the constraints of that, we live within the guidelines indeed. Today I keep quiet because of respect for the station owner. But I want seriously want every caller, every listener, every participant, when next you come on this platform, what we don't put what you for discuss, you left them, you discuss Kutubu. Now the other thing we look at. It is never about me. And like I tell openly, nothing or anybody will tell me about Naya. Because me conduct today within the guidelines of waiting VOS want. I very moderate how they talk. I know they talk long. I know they talk out of context. If anybody get any personal problem with Kutubu, 240-413-1733, I will be more than glad for them again. But for saying you go kind of public forum like this, you attempt for saying they demoralize me, that a fundamentally mistaken premise that I only keep quiet today because of respect for this place. But let anybody not feel go get a free riding anymore. It's not a warning. Udawa yeri, le yeri. Udawa no yeri, no yeri. They say for mixed agidi for let peto train and for go gear. Again, at a one, if you get any personal issue with me, anybody, take come with 240-413-1733. But what kind of the platform that the issues and I make we tell you what they discuss. If they wanted, let the come trouble Kutubu. When they put on, they go, hey, today what they go and Kutubu 9 viewers go discuss about today. They'll put on the plain one, but never the agenda they go to they can discuss. If you don't get nothing for discuss, and nobody no go stop me from criticizing either Mr. Julius Madabio or Ernest Michael Homa, it's going to happen. The reason because they get something for do with the governance of the country. Anyhow we look at it. That is that. So do Udawa yeri this. Udawa no yeri. Legally Kasana, the final warning is at anybody where you can it is never about Kutubu. It's about the issue. If you don't get anything for offer to the issue, remain quiet and sit down and also laugh. But if you feel say you can't grandstand Naya, you can't resort to obfuscation at the expense. This is a fundamentally mistaken premise. Thank you very much, Mr. Shilon. We don't know.
All right. Thank you so much, Professor. Your point is well taken. To a large extent, you're so right, because then the input or impute on you comments or commentaries that you may have made on another show, which is a radio show, which not get any connection to this broadcast. So issues arising from this broadcast, if people want to call and comment about that by any of the co-hosts, I think will always be welcome. But you're so right in making that distinction there. So that something arising from your radio show should be directed there. Feelings invoked as a result of things you may have said on your radio show may and should not have any place in this broadcast. So, but matter arising from any comment that you may have made on the show, that will be relevant and material. So I'm in total agreement with you. And so I hope callers are still listening and they will understand the perimeters and the guidelines and the boundaries, and they will all stay within that confines there, that confine. So I hope callers are listening, that the questions, the comments, only should pertain to matters arising from statements made within the context of this show. Thank you very much again, listeners. Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you very much for all the callers. We greatly appreciate your participation, and we hope we're going to go listen next time. And take care. Have a good night.
If I'm on a morning, it's a Kapu sense. No Kapu word. Listen, Fedima, today is the 20th of August, 2021. And this not only limit my conversation to Kapu sense, no Kapu word, but Kapu sense, no Kapu word, like the word say, Salaka Maxwell, when they say Kapu sense, not for just Kapu word. Call word, anybody can talk word. Waiting at the sense behind this word, them. Where the people and they talk, waiting makes sense inside the word. Now the Kapu, not just the word, not just mouth and lip service. You know, how they watch the world, how they watch America spend 20 years of blood, sweat and money, resources into Afghanistan, Iraq, fight wars, do all kinds of stuff. And as they watch the world, everything is falling apart. Seem say everything they fall apart. We see the insurrection in America. We see coronavirus taking over the world now. It mutates to different things. Then when you sit down and watch yourself and ask yourself, you know, we sit on the fight for we politician in Sierra Leone. You know, everybody going back and forth with conversations, me own better passion. But then when you think and reflect, what's in the sense behind them word, yeah, where we talk, where we look, you know, for every picking, we not get good medicine right now. A politician decided once upon a time, not for do what he's supposed to do, but for put the money in our pocket. We not get good quality education. Everything where the colonial master they left to also want get independence. For every run-down institution, a politician is responsible for that. For every bad road where we get in a SALONE, a politician where we gets the funds from donor partners or wherever, from the resources of what we get, a politician responsible for that. Decide for put the money in their pockets them instead of giving to the people, providing the necessary, you know, immunities them where people they need, the necessary conditions for society for thrive, for citizens for thrive, and you know, middle class and business people and opportunities, equal opportunity to people them. Once upon a time, a politician had the funds, but then decide for putting in their pocket. For we hospital and for be a death chamber, a government hospitals, for be get timber, we not get medical facility for see young people and they die before their term. You know, people can say, now God, you know, they make people die, but I don't believe that. There's sometimes some deaths are negligence and some deaths are because they don't have the right things in place. Even then country they are what they so then go say we've done everything we could, then go try by you, fetch by you, then die come. But here you don't even have the opportunity for somebody for able fetch by you, because for every broken institution, every rundown institution, politician responsible for that. But yet, we they pull close and fight for the politician. What have these people done to improve with people their life? If we not been there, America or Europe or whatever, if we not been get opportunity for get them country, some of us stayed by choice, but some of us had to run away from wars and stuff like that. We then sit down. If one not been being a salon, how some people before they leave today. If I mean worse than this, politicians are responsible for that. We see them riding fancy cars, eating, good food, living in mansions with air condition blowing, while the people are perishing day by day for struggle for a day of meal. Gary safe now, when a local waiting and call, nothing we not they provide in a salon, we not they produce, we just consuming. Foreign exchange, the leons once upon a time was greater than the dollar. It was 1-on-1 with the British pounds after they changed from shillings and pence to leons. Once upon a time, a politician was in power. But yet we sit on the fat for them politician, them pull close for them politician, them because we braid the butter, because we support soap. Yes, but the people, the masses of the people are suffering. We sit on they do for 1 or 2 things they wouldn't do. We clap, like saying a big thing they don't do. But yet, we people them, they suffer. Yes, we sit down, they clap for them. We sit down, they argue for them. We sit down for say, who that better pass, who that. So man, they vomit, then they eat them back. Yes, that's what I say. This is not Fadima. We're clapping for them. What have they done sustainable for change the lives of our people? Our youths are perishing out there, no jobs, no nothing. There's nothing, there's no creativity in the people in mind because the people have given up. The freedom of Africa is in our minds. The development of Africa, the progressiveness, we're trapped in our minds, fighting for parties, fighting for things instead of talking about the good, how the country they go before. What can we do as Sierra Leoneans to come together? We're killing each other, fighting each other. Yes. What would they do for improve the country? Some man they don't sit on a power. What they don't do for change their own little environment where they do. What they do for change the environment? What do they do for humanity? For light you come in light. When light don't dim, in light don't hurt by circumstances, in light don't go out. What do they do for that brother in the corner taking drugs instead of using them for gain your own political gain? What do they do for change their life? What do they do for help them for step up again? That sister that has been abused, battered, and bruised out there, before that they go back, we take advantage of the people. Because they don't know any better. But yet we say, we put pictures, we put half in them, we brag, we show, while the people are living lives, why presidents are living lives, why their wives are disrespecting people. Whether they disregard for human, no feeling for human being, you flaunting wealth in people's faces. Then when I sit down, they argue for them. Hey, me people them. When I let we reflect, when I let we think. When I watch the masses of Sierra Leoneans suffering, when I match the responsibility of our people are on our shoulders daily. It's just like another bill every month, $300, $400, $500 going for April people and for team up. But yet we sing praises to politicians. What have they done for our people? The masses of the people. But yet these people, they don't know any better. They go and give them one bag of survival. How are they eat today? That's what they care. So they don't know any better. And they're using them. They use them. But yet we sit here and fight each other. We sit here and call each other name. We sit here and argue uselessly, wasting time. Instead of improving, try to improve how we go before, how we go gather together and put progressive things before for Kerry Salongo before, but yet we all the fed for politicians there. So man a dog, we vomit, you go lick and back. We people and they die, we picking and they die. We don't get good road, we don't get good water, we don't get good electricity. We sit down for decades, we country don't go na the abyss, the bien yard last kakabela. Now we they crepe the crown and they pot them. We neighbor them all, then they thrive, then they do something better. They're not better much, but they do way better than us. But yet we sit on the clap for politicians. Hey, Salone, Africa, we are trapped in our minds. We are trapped. But this is Fedima. I just want to put this out there. You all have a wonderful weekend. Go make a difference. Go light your world. Stop singing the praises of politicians that are not doing anything to improve the people's lives. All is just facade and show and cosmetic. Because where everything go, everything fall apart. There's nothing to show. What thing they don't do. What thing they don't do for we people them. What thing they don't do for we country. What thing they don't do for push we go. What thing they don't do. They do one or two things, una clap, una begin fet to una self. Na me say so. Na me own thought this. No me say I right to. But I just they look for me own lens and talk with you I see. Fedima, I love you all. God bless. Remember, God is love. Bye.